No matter your age, there are financial mistakes that can cost you and smart moves that can help build wealth for years to come.
So here, with a look at the do's and don'ts of handling your money, is Jessica Perrone, founder of Herfin IQ. So Jessica, good to see you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, this is a big topic. Let's talk about by the decade and start with people in their 20s and what's the most common mistake they make.
Well, one of the biggest mistakes people in their 20s make is not prioritizing investing. What I'll frequently see is they get their first job, their first corporate job, and they have benefits. They have 401ks, they have employee stock purchase plans, but they don't really know what they are, so they don't take advantage of them. It also has to do with, well, I'm going to say the B word, the budget word. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And it's also creating that allocation in your budget just for savings and investing.
Well, because you're in your 20s, you get your first job, your first paycheck, so I'm free, I can go do whatever I want, spend money, go out.
Yes, new outfits, going out, especially in New York City. There's always some fun stuff to do, but really putting together how you're going to allocate your money. We try not to say budget too often, but think of ourselves as our CFOs of our own budgets.
Right. Yeah. Well, what about what happens when you get into your 30s?
Oh, when you get into your 30s, that's where lifestyle creep comes in, okay? You start thinking about that car, that house. Kids are expensive. They really are.
Gosh, aren't they?
Right? Yeah. So when you think about those and you think about, again, I'm going to say the B word, budget. Really, you don't want it to be more than 50% of your needs. And that's what people don't think about, because if it's more than 50% of your needs, then it comes out of your wants, comes out of your savings, and then inadvertently you're not investing as much.
And nobody teaches you these things when you're in school, heading into these adult years.
Yeah, so you're saying, but if you want to make those purchases in your 30s, right? You want to buy the house, you want to buy the car, you're having kids. What is like a good tip to get yourself to figure out how to budget? Because you don't know how to, some people just don't know how to do it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So there's a couple ways to do it. And you can even just sort of start looking at your spending with a spending tracker and sort of see where your money is going. And then really think in terms of 50% to needs, 30% to wants, and 20% to savings. And that is after you get your paycheck. That's what's in your paycheck and how you allocate it. And if you're over 50% for your needs, and that is your minimum debt payments, that is your mortgage payments, that's your car payments, and your medical payments, your insurance, all those things that you need, not the wants, but you actually need. And if that is over 50%, you should be thinking, is this car too much for me? Is this house too much for me? Is this apartment too much for me? Do I need a roommate? I don't know about you guys, but when I was starting off in my career, I had like 5 roommates in that apartment, right? Just to budget.
Yeah, but once you're in your 40s, if you're making mistakes in your 20s and your 30s, old habits are hard to break. So what are some of the common mistakes you make once you get there?
Yeah, I would say, and it's very similar to 30s, but retirement is coming up.
Yeah.
It is coming up in like 25 years, and you really have to sort of hunker down, giddy up on getting your finances in a row if they're not in a row already. But really looking and seeing where you are financially, what you have, what debts you have, what your spending is going to be as well. Because really having a realistic budget for the future helps you sort of approximate how much you're going to need for retirement.
But when you're in your 40s, you're usually thinking mostly of your kids and taking care of things right now. And then you want to try to figure it out on your own, but you don't necessarily have to do it all on your own.
Yes. Okay. So there's 2 things that you brought up that I really want to talk about, and especially for parents. We want to take care of our kids. Right? We really want to. But sometimes we do it at the detriment of our own finances. So having those conversations with our kids and being realistic about what needs are, what wants are, and what we can actually afford actually helps your kids in the long run.
Yeah, that's good. Well, and when you're in your 40s too, like I am, you're thinking about college for your kids and like how to kind of plan for that, plus your own retirement, all the things you try to, it's a lot to kind of think about at the same time.
It really
And it can feel overwhelming and you're like, I'm gonna do none of it.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it can be overwhelming. It's
Yeah.
almost like the ostrich with the head in the sand.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
if I don't look at it, if I don't open my mail,
it'll all work out.
Yeah, it's sort of like an avoidance mentality.
Yeah.
But that's where we can really get into trouble.
Yeah.
You know, as I was saying before, like you think, oh, I can just figure this all out on my own, but
Yes.
we shouldn't be afraid to ask for help from like a financial advisor.
Sure.
Because how much does that actually cost, though, too, for someone that's like wondering, like, what do you do?
Believe it or not, there's two types of professionals that can help you in this role. There's a few, but so for example, I'm an accredited financial counselor. So that's where we look at your budget, right?
Okay.
We look at your spending and really go into your behaviors and where your allocations are.
Okay.
And a financial advisor will look at the investment side of things and where you are with your investments.
Right.
So having that team together can really be a powerful combination.
Yeah.
But also just education, understanding investing topics. So when you go to a financial advisor, you know what they're talking
Right.
about.
Right.
And that's really what we do at Her Financial IQ. We do education. We
Okay.
have investing education, really how to think about investing. What are stocks? What are ETFs? All those questions that people are kind of afraid of.
Yeah.
And we make it fun. A little fun,
good.
too.
All right, very good, Jessica. Thank you for coming in and talking about this, all right? Because we want to make it fun.
Yeah. Trying
Not
to.
scary.
Spending money is fun, though.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry.
Oh, yes, it is.
Just
All right.